afternoon, family. Once again, it's your DC dude. If you are already a subscriber to this channel, then welcome back. However, if you are new to this channel, I recommend that you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can stay in the know about where we're gonna go. So right now we find ourselves right in front of the Herschel Museum, family. And I don't know if you've been here in a while, but it's been under construction for quite a while, and it has a scaffolding going around it. So basically it's covered with actual artwork done by a man named Nicholas Pardee that wraps around the entire building. It's his largest piece of artwork ever. It's called Draw the Curtain. But this video is not at all about the museums. It's actually, we're continuing the series for the wards. So this is Ward 2 we're standing at. The very first thing that I thought peculiar, that Tourist World, that's what I call it down here with all the Smithsonians and memorials and monuments, the Tourist World was a part of Ward 2. Now, DC dude, this area has to be a part of some ward, right? It's in DC. We have 8 wards in DC, of course, right? I guess, but what I thought was strange was when I talk about, when I think about wards, I think about neighborhoods, right? After all, there's the ANC. Anybody heard of that? The Advisory Neighborhood Committee, right? So I always associated with wards. Wards have to do with funding, how many people are in your ward, things like that. You know, Ward 8 just expanded over the river into the part of Navy Yard. So I always thought of it as neighborhoods. But, of course, this has to be a part of the ward, right? The other thing that stuck out to me about Ward 2 was its boundaries. That's this ward is a perfect example of why I've abandoned the whole driving around the wards trying to show people the boundaries, right? And that was a good idea in the beginning. The reason why I did it, because people might know what ward they live in, like I did. But a lot of times, we don't know where wards begin and end, right? And I thought that was a good idea to do the whole boundary thing. After all, you're not driving down the street and say, and see a sign that says, "Welcome to Ward 5." You know, you're leaving Ward 6. None of that, right? So I thought that was a good idea. However, I learned after bumping my head a few times. Like I said, it took up a lot of time to do the video. And also, it wasn't always possible. You know, I'm driving down a one-way street, and I get to the intersection, and right in front of me, I want to continue on the border of that street, but it's a one-way street coming in my direction now, so I can't go down and do not enter. But back to Ward 2. So Ward 2's boundary even get more interesting. For example, you have to cross Key Bridge to get to the border. Now, leaving Georgetown, cross the Key Bridge, you're going into what? Roslyn, Virginia, right? Well, right before you cross into Virginia, that's a border. Like, so it's on the other side of the river. And then there are other boundaries that run through the middle of Potomac River. The other thing I found interesting about the ward is some of the boundary streets are Florida Avenue, U Street, things like that, of that nature. So even though it's not, like I said, it's not a very large ward, it's certainly not the largest ward, not the second or even the third largest ward, but it encompasses so many different degrees of neighborhoods. You have Chinatown, you have down here, you have Georgetown, you have Foggy Bottom, part of Shaw. Like, it's a lot of different things going on with Ward 2, family. But anyway, you might be asking, DC dude, why didn't you go past this? Why didn't you go past that in Ward 2? This is just a taste, family. All these ward videos are just a taste to give you an idea what these wards encompass, right? Certainly not going to drive around the entire ward, right? But that's what the comment section is for. What is interesting about this particular ward for you, whatever the video is, what's interesting to you about the ward, and what I didn't drive by and what I did drive by. Meanwhile, family, you never know where we're going to end up next. So if you want to ride, just click on subscribe.